God is present as we've been talking about being pursuers of the light of the Christ. I want to, at this moment, bring another topic which has much to do with the place that we are right now, and that is in my kitchen. As you can see here, we are in a very personal setting because this moment is a moment of personal relationship with God. And this brings me back to moments with my grandfather because he taught me all that there is about this direct relationship with God. Wherever you are, doesn't matter the place, the material place that you are, you can always be in tune with His will. You can always be connected to God, even in your kitchen, in a setting that most of the time is messy. It's always full of people going in and doing things and putting things whatever they want to put. And this, it's only to show us that no setting is going to be perfect. Doesn't matter the place that you are, materially speaking, it will never be perfect. That it will always have something that you want to change, you want to clean, or even get rid of. And think that after doing that, you will be able to have your moment with God. When in reality, you can have your moment with God even surrounded by all the troubles, even surrounded by everything that is around you and that is not in the right place that you believe it should be. Of course, for you to do that, you need to work on yourself. You need to work in your spirit in such a way that you will be able to again perceive the light of God at those moments. And that is what my grandfather taught me, because I remember that every time that I was with him, in moments just like this, when you are having your breakfast or your lunch or even at dinner, he would, after it or before, multiple times before, work in the kitchen. It was interesting because for him, the better place to focus and to be connected with God and do his work of writing and bringing all the message about the love of the Christ to this world was in the kitchen, surrounded by the noise, by all that was happening in the kitchen, with people going in and going out and everything going around him as to take his attention off what he was doing, was actually the best place for him to do his work. And this is so different from what we see, so different from what we sometimes learn. Because again, it shows us that you can have a personal relationship with God wherever you are, even in your kitchen, even, and sometimes that can be debatable for some, even in the bathroom. You can, at those moments, reflect, think, because the material body is just an instrument for us to be here at this moment, for us to do our work in this world. It doesn't reflect everything that our spirit represents. So, even in those moments, you can have a reflection, a debate, a discussion mentally, spiritually with God, and find at the moment of rest during shower an answer for the trouble that you were facing. How many times haven't you experienced that? That after a long day of work, being tired, full of challenges, of things to do, you, during shower, come up with an answer, come up with a solution for what you're facing. We have that all the time, and those moments are moments of connection, a moment that we are having this exchange with God. So, for us, as being pursuers of light, when we are working for everything that Christ is showing to us, that is wanting us to achieve, we at this moment are working also to have an alliance, to have this spiritual covenant with God, with Christ. And He Himself, Jesus, lays out the terms, let's say, the contract, the document for us to sign on and have this alliance with Him, with God's will in our lives. So when we are in this action, going after the light of God, we are having changes in our lives. And those changes, they need to be in accordance with not only our will, but also with the will of God. Because once we start the process, we can't go back. We can't turn ourselves to our past and forget what happened to us. Once we see and we witness what is right in front of us, you can't close your eyes. You can't pretend that you didn't see that now your life is not changed. Otherwise, we will be setting ourselves to a state of alienation and rumination, just like the animals when they are in that process of digesting everything that they are taking in. So you cannot unsee what is put right in front of you in evidence by the light of the Christ. That is why for you to walk in accordance with what has been shown to you, you need to make a covenant with God and Jesus so you can walk through it towards the finishing line. So let's do that. Let's sign on this document that Christ is giving to us. And this contract was gathered by Brother Paiva, my grandfather, who in this intuition with Christ and God, willing to bring forth His divine love, put it together, the words of Christ, as a treatise of the new commandment. And these words we find in the Gospel of Jesus according to John, chapters 13, verses 34 and 35, and chapter 15, verses 7, 8, 10 to 17, and 9. So let us read now this contract, this document that Christ is giving to us so we can have this alliance with Him, so we can have this covenant with God. A new commandment I give you: love one another as I have loved you. Only by this shall all of you be recognized as my disciples, if you have the same love for one another. If you remain in me, and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. This is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in His love. I have told you this, so that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends, and you are my friends, if you do what I command you. And I command you this: love one another as I have loved you. No longer do I call you servants, because a servant does not know what his master is doing, but I have called you friends, because everything I have learned from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, on the contrary, I chose you and appointed you so that you should go and bear good fruit, and that your fruit should remain, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give to you. And this I command you, that you love one another as I have loved you. Therefore, as the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Remain in my love. Isn't that what we all want to remain in the love of God, to have this right in our lives, and then have the courage, the strength to face everything that is in front of us and do our work, bear fruits and much more fruits in the name of God and Christ, so we can all carry his will in this world. That's why once we become this witness of the changes that are happening in our lives, we need to have the decision to go forward, to face what is right in front of us, to face all the problems, all the challenges that may come after we made that covenant with God. And thus, through that experience, we'll be comprehending the terms that are laid out in that document. We'll understand that no matter what is happening right around of us, all the noise, all the problems, all the troubles, we'll be in a peace that only Christ and God can give to us, and also be in a joyful state of spirit because we will be fulfilled by what we are doing it. We will understand that no matter the setting, the material setting that we are still doing our part, because God is always doing his part, is always going in front of us to open the path for us to walk. And thus, by accepting that, by walking on that path, we will be the ones, as we saw here, bearing fruits that we can't even count, because they're all going to be fruits that God wants us to bring, that Christ wants us to bring. And even though, as we said, we'll be facing challenges, with that certainty that Christ is having our backs, that God is walking before us, that Christ is guiding us through it, we may persevere in his love, in his new commandment, his new order for us to love others as he loved us, and by that be recognized as his disciples. So we will be in this state, persevering in his love, and thus being recognized not only as his disciples, but as his friends. Friends of Jesus Christ, as he himself said to us in his treatise of the New Commandment. He's not calling us servants anymore. He's calling us friends, because he's making us know everything that God has for us. And that, my friends, brothers and sisters, it's something that nothing in the world can be compared to. Because we know and understand that no matter what others say, no matter what happens to us, we were all chosen by Christ. He is finishing his words by saying that to us. You did not choose me. On the contrary, I chose you and appointed you so that you should go and bear good fruit, and that your fruit should remain, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give to you. I don't have anything else to say besides that we have to make that decision. We have to accept this calling of Christ in our lives. May Jesus bless your life today and always. Jesus lives in our hearts forever.